All right, welcome back to Fleck and Socks, podcast, episode 227. Today on the show, Trudeau is out and Trump is in. Everything seems to be going our way there. Then, the band Soundgarden replaced their dead lead singer with a DEI hire who did something unthinkable at a concert. Then in Urban Decay, New York City's subway crimes are on the rise as the elites force people to use public transport with congestion pricing tolls. And last but not least, we have some Christmas meltdowns over PS5s. All this and more, it's Fleck and Socks, podcast, episode 227, ranked the best new podcast of all time.
Because words are just words until action actually starts. And actions speak louder than words. But at the same time, words speak louder than actions because sometimes it's the right thing to do. Very cool. Very cool.
It's Fleck and Socks, the podcast, featuring Richard Geriatric. All right, one for one on the intro, as always. It's that time, folks. The new year is upon us. It's time to start working out and eating right to shed those holiday calories, but don't let your snacking ruin your New Year's goals. It's a tale as old as time. The new year's here, you start working out, you're eating better, but you know what'll tank your New Year's goals faster than Elon and Vivek's credibility lately? Sugary snacks. You need to stock up on Farmer Bill's meat snacks so you can curb those hunger cravings with protein instead of sugar and carbs. As we know, Farmer Bill's jerky is free from sugar, soy, and nitrates, making it the perfect guilt-free snack, delivering what your body needs most, protein and fat. Biltong jerky keeps you full for longer than a protein bar and provides tons of energy without the crash that you would get from eating sugar. The protein and fat from Farmer Bill's keeps you full, fuels your gains, and will help you achieve your New Year's goals. Their 1-pound slabs are perfect for snacking around the house, and grab a bag of their pre-sliced biltong for snacking on the go. I recommend the bestseller bundle because you get a half-pound slab, 4 packs of pre-sliced biltong, and 2 jars of the tallow balm, which is perfect for your wintry, dry skin. And the best part? It all ships free. Use code FLECKUS15 at checkout for an additional 15% off. FarmerBillsProvisions.com is the website. It's linked in the description as well. FLECKUS15 at checkout. Thank you to Farmer Bills for sponsoring. Let's get into housekeeping.
Farmer Bill's Provisions, the perfect protein snack.
All right, thank you to Farmer Bills for sponsoring.
Thank you, Farmer Bill.
We all know we have goals,
Yeah.
and Farmer Bill helps you get those goals achieved.
All right.
Hey,
Smart.
it feels good to be back. Richard, did you forget how to do the show?
Kind of. That's always a concern.
Always a concern after the breaks is I always think we're going to get the yips and not be able to do a show, but it seems to be going pretty normal so far. Hope everyone had a nice January 6th.
Yeah.
I did.
It's episode 227, so I don't think the yips are coming at this point. Maybe episode 50, take a 2-week break. Episode 75, you take a 2-week break. I think we're past it. I think we're normal guys. We both had nice breaks. A lot of stuff happened.
A lot of stuff happened.
I thought it was a quiet Christmas. People are fighting Elon, H-1Bs.
The bombings, the New Orleans attack, a lot of stuff that we're going to get to. Some stuff we're going to get to in bonus land,
Yeah.
but a lot of stuff to get to. And then someone made this withdrawal AI picture.
Yeah, seeing ghosts of Richard Ratboy and Fleckus while I tweak on the street from podcast withdrawals. And then they actually got us. Most AI is slop. This is like he showed them some reference pictures or
Well,
something.
they got you very good.
Yeah. You look like Teethy. You're a Teethy chipmunk type.
Yeah, that doesn't look like me. But okay. I can recognize that the AI tried its best.
All right.
All right, let's get to some stories. We have some great things to get into. The election was certified yesterday.
Yeah. Speaker Mike Johnson was reelected.
Yeah, Speaker Mike Johnson. I always thought that every single thing between now and January 20th was going to be like a roadblock or an opportunity for something to go wrong. Government shutdown, Mike Johnson, we can't agree on that. And it just seems to be going.
It worked out. And that's the thing, watching them vote for Speaker of the House, and it's like 215 for Democrats, and they're all on one candidate, Hakeem Jeffries or whoever it was, and then Mike Johnson, and we have like 3 Republicans kind of holding back. And it's like, guys, we're kind of too close to be fucking around on this.
Yeah.
And like Mike Johnson's not my favorite. He's done some shitty bills and like there's been some bad
Ukraine.
stuff. But we have this kind of like 2-year guaranteed Trump window to go forward. And I agree with you completely where like the stall, delay, delay a confirmation of someone is like in the tool chest for Democrats for sure. So Republicans really do need to be working together to actually get it done.
Absolutely. And the Democrats are optimistic because according to some polls, Kamala Harris leads J.D. Vance 47% to 46% in hypothetical 2028 presidential poll. Oh, no.
4 years from now, it's hypothetical. It's interesting. Kamala, I want her to run again. Horrible candidate, didn't have it in her, botched it, made poor decisions, spent bad money, right? Mm-hmm. And J.D. Vance is going to have 4 years of like cool events, looking sick, talking to the media right in front of a plane. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You get a little bit of that budget. It's almost like a movie budget being vice president. So
you get to do your thing, it's called.
Exactly. Let him cook.
Let him cook. Yeah, so everything seems to be going our way. The certification went well, so that's great. But the Democrats and the bad guys are going to be cooking some stuff up for when Trump gets into office. You can believe that. Now they're talking about a quademic, which I believe is 4 pandemics in one.
A Latin prefix for 4.
What some people are terming the quademic of infectious diseases hitting hard this season. And joining us now is Dr. Stephanie Widmer with more on how to stay healthy. Doctor, good morning to you. It's great to have you.
Thank you guys for having me. So I guess let's talk about these viral syndromes.
And I want to jump right into some of the numbers here as we get into it because the flu, COVID, RSV, norovirus making the rounds this winter. RSV cases higher than they were this time of year last year. 35 states reporting high or very high levels of respiratory illness. And the CDC estimates that there have been at least 5.3 million illnesses, 63,000 hospitalizations, and 2,700 deaths from the flu so far this season. So
I guess the flu's killing people again.
The flu, RSV, COVID, and then what, bird flu? Is that the fourth and final piece?
We did just have our first... we did
Yips.
We did just have our first bird flu death in Louisiana.
Yeah, and Louisiana, who knows what's going on down there?
They eat all kinds of bugs,
Swamp
water bugs,
creatures.
and swamp armadillo.
We've been down there, and it was probably some guy living on a fan boat eating a raw bird. Who knows?
Yeah.
So,
but they do have their first death for that. So obviously they're cooking something up, and who knows what they're going to release upon us. Mm-hmm. But until then... Trump's in.
Pretty sweet ride up until that point.
Yep. As we know, Justin Trudeau resigned after being in power for like 10 years.
Yeah, he was in office for 12 years, prime minister for, I think, 9, oversaw some of the worst decline in Canada that I've ever seen.
Yeah, and then he was giving his resignation speech. Here it is behind us. And right as he was walking out, all of his papers flew off the podium.
Classic.
So that's pretty good. It's a little sign of the times.
And it's interesting because Biden or Trudeau he kind of got forced out. Like their party forced him out, and they saw the writing on the wall, how unpopular he was. They have an election coming up, and he got Joe Biden with full cognitive abilities.
Yeah, he got Biden without the dementia.
Which is like, you have to be the worst politician of all time. Like, Joe Biden was clearly a frail old man who couldn't even speak at a debate. And then they were like, we reluctantly are doing this.
Yeah.
Trudeau gets kicked out.
Trudeau's like 50.
I know. He's an articulate. He says stupid shit, but he says it correctly. So very fascinating to see. And that's a move. I mean, the media, the Canadian Broadcasting Company, they'll prop up whoever replaces him. And then that'll give a poll bump, kind of like we saw with the media rallying around Kamala. It's becoming a standard playbook. Like you cut and dump your unpopular guy and say, things will be different, we swear.
And then you cut and dump your unpopular guy after they do the most unnatural, horrible things, flood your country with all these third worlders for years and years. And then you cut him and go, oh, yeah, he got kind of off the rails, as if that wasn't their plan the whole time. So he's a hitter. He did his thing. Now he's off in the sunset, and then they bring in their next guy who's probably going to do some stuff similar.
Yeah, as if the machine and apparatus who elected him and wrote all the legislation isn't the exact same.
Exactly. So. And then before Joe Biden leaves office, he's doing some more rounds of, last-minute things. He did his Medals of Freedom.
Yeah, he gave it to 19 recipients. Hillary Clinton, Denzel, George Soros, Bono.
Magic Johnson.
That was...
Maybe Magic Johnson's son was there.
Oh, yeah, his daughter. Ralph Lauren. What do you say, Lauren or?
Lauren. And it is Lauren.
Yeah. Anna Wintour. So some stylists, some TV people, kind of a mixed celebrities and then Democrat henchmen.
Yeah, I think he was just looking for an excuse to kiss Hillary Clinton.
I think so. I think he's been angling for that Hillary kiss for years, and he hasn't gotten it yet.
And there it is. And then he also gave an award, Medal of Freedom, to George Soros. But George Soros is too old to show up.
Yeah.
So he gave it to Alex Soros instead. So the good news is George Soros is too old to travel and do stuff. The bad news is Alex Soros is probably going to take the reins and take over. Yep. And the worst news is Alex Soros is, I think, married now to Huma Abedin. So they're cooking something up.
Yeah, and he's got like a life expectancy. If it's anywhere close to his dad's, he'll be around for the next fucking 75 years.
Yeah.
But hopefully he's ineffective, you know? George Soros, self-made guy, did it on his own, did evil shit. Open Society Foundation, all those shitty Western things that are antagonistic to values that we hold. But hopefully he's just not as good at it.
Yeah, that's a good point. I'm hoping for that too.
Yeah.
Over the break, like we said, we missed the H-1B visa debate.
Yeah.
Vivek and Elon kind of shot themselves in the foot with that one. Everyone's looking forward to them doing Doge and cracking down on inefficiencies in the government. And then they start talking about how H-1B visas are so important. And then, you know, it sounds good. Like H-1B visas, the idea on paper makes sense. Oh, we'll take the very, very top from all these random countries and they'll help us in tech because they're great coders or whatever. But then you look into it, what actually happened, they're giving away normal jobs, entry-level jobs to everyone, and it's mostly Indians.
Yeah, here's the origin country of H-1B visa recipients. This was from a specific year in the past, and it's just India's hustle. It's how India gets into America. And, you know, for right-wingers who have been paying attention to Canada, speaking of Justin Trudeau resigning, we watched Canada get flooded with more refugee claims. They don't have H-1B, but they have similar things. And we've talked about it on the show, lying on resumes, forging documents, like doing anything they can to get into the country of Canada. And I mean, I just think that's a similar thing that happens with H-1B in America. Like if there's a system, you give them like this little window to get in, then they game it. And then they bring in a spouse who starts a new company or an LLC, and then you know, they hire more of their own, and it's just kind of like, in terms of taking temperature of the room, it's not really the time to be kind of being like, oh, we need new people, we need new blood in America. Because obviously we've seen over the last 10 years, the Great Replacement theory has graduated to the Great Replacement, and it ends there, right? So, I mean, it's not exactly a time for the MAGA base. And we've seen it with Trump, too. Trump kind of is wishy-washy on it. It's not the best thing ever. I'm sure Stephen Miller has a harsher opinion.
I hope we let Stephen Miller cook on this.
I hope so as well. But
we're getting the masses from India. It's not the smartest tech guys. We're getting everyday people.
And then Vivek had that long tweet where he was talking about the work ethic and America's culture. And it's like, you could maybe agree with some of the things he said, but then never would the solution ever be to import hard workers from India. It's like, oh yeah, here are the things we could do to fix American culture. And it's like, wait, this guy just wants to bring in Indians to do that? Yeah. That's not really what we're up to here, especially after years and years of visa, asylum, and even student visa abuse in America.
And a big thing with the H-1B debate was the people can't jump around. So they're kind of like indentured servants. They start working for the company. They're stuck with that company. If they get fired from that company, they lose their visa, and then they get paid less than they would pay an American. So you kind of have like this indentured servitude situation, which is not the best.
Yeah, driving American wages down, and then Elon and everybody's like, oh, well, we don't have anybody. America doesn't have anybody. Everyone's lazy or something. It's like, okay, that's the shittiest attitude you could possibly have and insulting to the people who like thought you were going to help. And it was like the first major misstep for those two guys.
Yeah.
And, you know, you realize Elon's a San Francisco tech guy. He's got a different thing.
Always was.
He always was. It's like, oh, he says something. Except I saw Elon tweeted, demographics are destiny once. And then you're on this side of the H-1B debate.
Yeah, he goes back and forth.
So.
But hopefully we straighten him out and he does the government efficiency thing and doesn't weigh too much into H-1B stuff, and Stephen Miller cooks on that and cancels it.
And we've said this from the beginning with this weird administration, like RFK's not going to touch guns. I now don't want Elon to touch immigration. Everyone needs to be siloed off in their specific henchman roles.
Exactly.
So.
And then when it comes to, like we said, the masses that are coming in, it's not the best tech workers, it's Indian masses. And then when you look at what people in India are up to, you see some interesting stuff. For example, this woman, We'll just let it play. She's just putting her face in poop.
Yeah. They love cow poop. I don't know.
You're not supposed to do that.
I know. You're not supposed to do that. Yeah.
And it's exfoliating. Or I'm sure there's something.
I keep hearing antibacterial properties or something like that. And it's cow shit.
I'm sure you can find something on Amazon that does something similar.
I'm sure there's other safer antibacterial things.
And then there was a story. This is out of San Francisco in the 90s. So this is in America. People were worshiping a parking barrier because they thought it was something else.
Originally, it was set down as a traffic barricade. Now the only people it stops are worshipers. A world-renowned shrine in San Francisco's Golden Gate Park.
Hindus come from around the world to worship before it. Buddhists pray at its feet. It was once a granite traffic barricade at San Francisco's Golden Gate Park. It's now revealed by...
How does that happen? How does it make the switch from traffic barricade to all of a sudden?
I think they see it and they go, wow, this rock is so smooth. How did this occur naturally? This must be from God, one of the gods. Or,
oh, yeah. I don't know how many they have.
You know? So I think that's kind of how it goes. But it's just like, nah, that was just put there to prevent people from driving into the park.
Yeah.
And then we actually have a graph here about the amount of people eligible to be deported. Right behind us, 1.7 million in Texas, about 1 million in Florida, 600K in New York, 2 million in California. So we have some stuff to get busy with.
Yeah.
And then you see all these numbers and you realize, obviously, there's millions and millions. I think there's probably 50 million people here illegally. Mm-hmm. And then I found this article that was really interesting that says that the UN states replacement migration is an act of genocide.
Yeah. Many of the studies demonstrate that long-lasting below-replacement fertility and immigration streams offsetting the negative natural growth of the national population would eventually lead to a significant increase in foreign population and therefore a marked change in the composition of a host country. Obviously.
Yeah.
And then they accidentally wrote this probably in some old paper, like when they were talking about Senegal or something. Mm-hmm. But for the United States, no, never mind.
Yeah, let them in.
Forget about that. And I've been hearing a lot of rhetoric recently about the Trump admin guys and Homan. Obviously, they're starting with the deportations of all the criminal illegals, and those are the ones who are going back first. And I really, you guys are like talking about criminals too much. You need to reverse everything that happened in the Biden admin.
Everyone needs to go back.
Everyone who got in on a sketchy thing, and I really hope they're not losing sight of that. That's what a lot of people voted for.
We're just going to do the criminals. No.
Because that changes something.
To everybody.
That leaves it to like, so you're just kind of conceding that many millions of people who we didn't pick or recruit or want are somehow allowed to be Americans now because they snuck in during a Democrat presidency. Send them back.
Everyone's out up until the Dreamers. And then when we get to the Dreamers, we'll figure out who comes and goes.
You better concede something major. If you want a Dreamer to stay, you better concede something crazy.
Yes, exactly. And then Tom Homan, the new border czar coming in, he had good news. He said that the companies that purchased the border wall parts for pennies on the dollar that Biden sold are going to return them to the Trump administration.
And when we covered that story, that's what we wanted. So I'm happy that a company down there in Texas or where it might have been Arizona as well.
So that's good news. And that's the right thing to do. And now we have another migrant here who's working and adding to the economy.
Oh.
He's adding to the economy, but he's taking away birds.
And then he'll head back to his halal food cart, goes right in to cook.
Hopefully there's a sink and some antibacterial soap in that little halal cart.
Antibacterial something else, maybe. But this is the thing, dude. Like we've obviously talked about Uber Eats drivers, and we actually have a section in Urban Decay about them. But like street meat and these street vendors, we used to call it street meat. Obviously, I think it's still called that in New York. We're losing trust. We're losing everything, right?
You, as an American, used to have such a good dynamic and relationship with your street meat guy.
Yeah.
Everyone had a street meat guy. You go, hey.
White sauce, boss.
I got double lamb, extra white, extra hot, over rice, no peppers. And they go, shh, and they have the bottles of sauce, and they go back and forth.
They go like this, like far away, spray it.
Now they're touching birds.
They're cooking the bird. What's he catching it for?
I thought he was just catching it for himself.
What, take home later? I don't know what he's doing.
Now they're cooking the birds.
Yeah.
So I guess you're supposed to just, as an American, ignore that and just go back to getting stabbed on the subway.
Yeah, and it's crazy too because like this guy's doing this in New York. I guess that's where the pigeons are, but that's also where the cameras are. So you think you're gonna just snatch a bird, snap its neck, put it in a bag, and walk into your food cart? I hope someone's investigating this because this is crazy.
But we're also not calling for a halt on street meat consumption. That would be crazy.
Yeah, that would be too far.
You mean, not eat street meat?
Maybe more no-knock raids on what's in the kitchen at the street meat place.
Yeah, that's why you got to know your street meat guy.
Yeah.
All right, and while all this is going on, and while there's millions of illegals here getting a ton of stuff, ton of resources, ton of money, free food, housing, etc., people in North Carolina are still living in tents.
Today is Sunday, December 22nd. Government says we're done. We don't need any more help. What do you think? Do you think this is done? People can't even live in their houses. Their homes are literally destroyed.
So their homes are still destroyed. People are living in tents. And then the property taxes for the year are still due in North Carolina. And they're saying you have to pay them, even though a lot of people's houses are completely wiped away. There's no house.
Fun living here.
You gotta pay those taxes.
And that's why we're still going to talk about Dreamer Kids.
Yeah, exactly.
We're not going to let that go. You're
can't just
charging
let it
charging
go.
people with ruined houses property taxes. Yeah, we're going to have a conversation.
Yeah, and then also just a quick reminder before we move on, the deporting of all these illegals, like the millions of people, that's going to be a huge process. Yeah. And then also we have a lot of these new terrorist attacks popping up. I think they're going to use those two things as an excuse to fast track facial recognition technology in all the cities. They're going to say, "Oh, we need it. We need to see who's illegal or who could be a terrorist." And I think both parties would kind of cheer that in because of the terrorism or because of all the illegals that need to go away. Just keep an eye out for that. That's not what we want. We don't want facial recognition because then it's like the same as COVID. You use a issue, you use a major problem to justify removing people's rights.
Yeah,
you
I
know.
agree.
So keep an eye out for that. That's probably what's coming. We're in our political section now. Hakeem Jeffries. Yeah, this guy's sick.
American dream possible. We will fight hard for the freedom to vote.
I guess he thinks that's funny.
He farts hard. He's making fart jokes in Congress. Disgusting.
50 years old.
Have a little class.
Member of Congress. We got to fart hard. What are you, 5?
Speaking of member of Congress who maturity levels are high.
This one's a little too mature.
Over the break, just in, missing Congresswoman Kay Granger, Republican from Texas, who hasn't been seen for 6 months. I don't know how that happens, even. Was found living in a dementia care facility. Didn't notify anybody. Didn't say, "Hey, Congress."
You forgot.
We actually committed her. I know, even an assistant. She's been in office since 1997, 81 years old. Yeah.
And she's in a dementia home.
And that's a Republican, right? Mm-hmm. And we're not saying, "Oh, stay in and vote one more time." We need some serious help here, guys.
I would say let's stay in and vote the party line, vote MAGA agenda, have some... Because look what they do with everyone else. Nancy Pelosi's on a walker now.
Yeah.
Mitch McConnell's in a wheelchair.
It's geriatric season.
It's geriatric season. So if their geriatrics aren't stepping down, I think ours should stay in, and we should have some 25-year-old savvy intern who knows how to vote.
Well, dude, that's what they did with Dianne Feinstein, where we showed that on the show. She was getting wheeled in, and they were like, "Say I." Caught on a hot mic, say I.
The one lady was like raising her head.
I know, Bernie's. We get at Bernie's shit. But so, here's the thing. When something like this happens, Democrats are like, "Oh my God, look at what you did." And we're like, yeah, let's have a conversation about like age cutoffs right now.
Term limits.
Let's do it. The American people deserve that, to be honest. Mitch McConnell, he'll probably fall soon. Nancy, to be fair, she broke her hip, right?
Yeah.
So she had the surgery.
But
she's still too old.
She's still too old. She breaks her hip. Yeah. Next, there was a picture of the White House interns or the White House administration, I believe.
The interns, yeah.
The interns. And look who they captured. They stole one of what I thought was one of our guys. That little kid from the commercial where you give money to kids who have issues.
Yeah, Shriners commercials.
Shriners.
Yeah. They got him?
They got him.
Is that him for sure?
Yeah. I think so.
He was good. He was a good spokesperson. He was articulate.
He was a hitter. Wouldn't you want to help someone like me?
Exactly.
And they got to him, and now he's a Democrat. So
it's a shame.
That's a shame.
Yeah.
Lost another one.
And then another notable.
Go ahead.
Asian male twink.
Oh, yeah, there he is. Asian male twink in a woman's suit.
Woman's pantsuit, horrible. And so this is like finding out one of your favorite characters is like on a baseball team and the season just ended, you know? They hid a White House twink from us. And you know me, I'm sniffing around for twinks all day.
We had them all, I thought, but there was one we missed.
And I feel bad. Interns are kind of a gray area because it's like they're 20, they're in college. But if you're wearing a dress, come on, you're an adult, you're 18.
Yeah, welcome to the meat grinder.
Welcome to the podcast, twink boy.
All right, well, that's the end of our political section. We're getting into our final page of housekeeping already, believe it or not. Make sure you guys have the opportunity to juice the algo, tickle the post, like, comment, subscribe, all the good stuff, please. I can't do the full thing today.
There you go.
Okay, so over the break while we were gone, the Vegas bombing happened. We're going to dig more on that because there's so many theories and so many, like, pieces of information that you don't know if are real or not. We're trying to verify. So we're going to cook on that a little bit longer before we give you the full schizo take. But some people are saying that he was whistleblowing a drone assassination attempt.
Yeah.
And then that's what got him killed. And he wasn't trying to hurt people. He was trying to bring attention by doing the Cybertruck fireworks in front of Trump Tower.
I think a lot of the shit that he said in that email has been proven as not credible, though, by like people who were in the special forces or whatever with him.
Yeah, but you don't know no one knows who to believe, you know?
Yeah.
But they're talking about the drones, and it's China and America and anti-gravity stuff. It's pretty interesting.
He hears drones, anti-gravity, China, and he goes, hurrah!
Yeah.
Sucks him out.
And he sees it all and goes, I don't want to do aliens today. And it's like, there's aliens everywhere, and now we're not going to cover it.
Guys, no aliens in 2025.
No aliens in this episode.
2025, the whole year.
So far. But believe me, there's aliens coming. And then
it's got to be pretty compelling.
There might be a little alien snuck in later, if you know what I mean. Okay, next, the New Orleans attack. That's the same thing. We missed that over the break. Apparently, and I can't confirm this, but I saw this on Twitter, and I think it got community noted. I think I saw the community note that said the barricades were supposed to be up, but they weren't because the work order didn't get finished in time for New Year's Eve.
There was like repair on the barriers that are in the ground.
Yeah.
And the work didn't get done.
And as people who used to live in New Orleans and you know what the New Orleans city workers are like, it makes total sense that job just didn't get finished. Oops.
We ain't get to it yet.
Yeah.
New Year's, is that a big day?
Oh, shit. Yeah, a couple more weeks.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much what happened there, potentially.
And then they also have the police chief who we covered. We did an Urban Decay thing where the police chief is like some old grandma, Ann Kirkpatrick, who was, the bit we did was she was on, she used to be a police chief in Oakland and Spokane, Washington, both liberal hellholes that are in decline. She has like a reverse resume.
Yeah.
And it's just bad optics, like an old lady being like, well, no, we didn't make a mistake. And she's like 80.
Old lady police chief of New Orleans. Good luck, New Orleans.
Yeah.
All right, next we have a priest who made a prediction. This guy also apparently predicted Trump's assassination attempt to the point where he said he's going to get shot in the ear.
I saw them trying to get as close as they could to Trump towers. And they had a plan to take out Trump towers all throughout America. Golf courses, places like that for attacks. The Lord spoke to me and he said to me, this is bigger than terrorists. I saw it was in retaliation for Assam Soleimani.
That's interesting. If he predicted one before, I'm always going to take someone who's 1 for 1.
Yeah, sure.
And see if we can go 2 for 2. So I want to get that on the record. And then with the terrorism stuff, you know how that works. It's like, it's more deep state than the terrorists, in my opinion. It's more deep state than it is some guys in the desert in some caves like plotting something up.
And it's more internet than like, oh, we're a terror cell. It's like a guy who's radicalized on the internet living in Texas and he's from Fort Bragg and multiple people reported him up to higher ups and everyone's like, oh, gee, I don't know. What should we do? And then eventually he does something, right?
Yeah. Speaking of terrorism, Claire Danes, who is the star of Homeland, the show about the terrorism, right?
Yeah.
She was speaking to Colbert about how the CIA gets involved with the media, and look how Colbert reacts.
Okay, so now one of the things that you do you do this every season where you go get to spend some time with some actual spies?
We do. It's like the coolest part of my job.
You know,
so we park ourselves in a club in Georgetown and talk to, like, real spooks. And, you know, people in the intelligence community and the State Department and journalists and people who really...
What do they tell you that, like, what's the most surprising thing that they've told you about their jobs or something you would need to know from
Well, every year it's different, right? We've been at
Okay.
it for a while, and the climate has changed. But this year it was all about, you know, the distrust between the administration and the intelligence world, and the intelligence community was suddenly kind of allying itself with journalists, which
But wait a
usually
second,
they're
how long
not
ago did you
such
start
good
shooting
friends.
this season?
So she says that the CIA is allying themselves with journalists and the media, and he goes, "When did you shoot? When did this shoot?
What time is it? Who's here? What are you wearing?" Crazy.
Which is pretty interesting because, you know, that's what happened.
Yeah.
That's what happened. That's what Colbert did. That's what all the late night hosts do.
Operation Mockingbird and shit.
CIA tells them what to do. Operation Mockingbird from Rat Boy.
That's
Yeah.
not even schizo. That's not like the aliens are coming and doing something. That's just like real documents that were found somewhere.
Project Bluebeam's a real document.
Yeah, and I agree with that. I just don't think we should bring it up every week and have a page in housekeeping dedicated to it.
Okay, well, that was pretty interesting how fast Colbert shut that down. As soon as he said, "Oh, they're meeting with the media and journalists."
Whoa, I'm a CIA pig. I'm a real pig for the CIA. You should probably shut up.
Exactly. And then Putin, he did an interview recently where he was kind of talking about how the New World Order is coming to an end. Listen to how he describes it.
Они привыкли столетиями.
They're used to filling their bellies with human flesh and their pockets with money for centuries. But they must realize that the vampire ball is ending.
I love that guy.
Yeah. Yeah, I get it. I get it. He's doing his own thing for his own people, and he's got his own incentives, right?
Yeah, but I really don't have a problem with him.
That worldview is pretty accurate, right?
The bad guys are having a vampire ball and stealing all our money and eating our flesh.
Him and Ozzy Osbourne. It's like the war pigs have the power. He's on that wave.
Okay, so when the vampire ball comes to an end, obviously there's going to be some chaos and probably ugliness that goes along with that.
Okay.
This woman was talking about the science of fear, and I thought this connected so much to what we saw with COVID and just the media in general. Check out what she says.
This is a very gross study, but it's one of my favorites. It's a little gross. You ready? Okay. So they brought people into their lab. They split them up into two different groups. And they made the first group wear a sweatsuit where they catch your sweat and run on the treadmill. So they sweat a lot on the treadmill. The second group, they wore sweatsuits and they took them skydiving for the first time. Both groups sweat a lot. Treadmill sweat and skydiving sweat. They took these sweat samples and they had unsuspecting participants go into fMRI machines and scan their brains. Then they gave them both sweat samples to smell. Poor these poor people didn't know what they were smelling. They went, everyone who smelled the skydiving sweat had an activation in their own amygdala, their own fear response triggered. In other words, when they smelled fear sweat, they didn't know why, they began to feel afraid. Everyone who smelled the treadmill sweat had no change at all. This means that, yes, we can talk about facial expressions and body language and vocal cues and words, but there's also something chemically happening with the people around us that we can literally smell fear and we catch it.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
Fear's subconscious and it's very chemical and it's contagious, basically. So, like, if people are scared, it's easier to become scared and then fall in line with the masses, making us easier to control.
Smart.
Not even that crazy.
Not that crazy at all. The question is the degree. Like, oh, I smell fear, and it's 1% am more fearful, or is it like, I'm in a fucked up zone now, you know? So that's the only pushback I'll offer. I totally believe it.
But either way, it is very contagious.
For sure.
And that's what they do. They just scare us with the media, and then everyone falls in line. You want to kill your grandma?
Yeah, who are you killing?
I'll shut down my business.
Yeah.
All right, next. We're going to go faster. This next story. Strong humming for 1 hour daily to terminate chronic, can you read that word?
Rhinosinusitis.
In 4 days, a case report and a hypothesis for action by stimulation of, can you read that part?
Endogenous
nasal nitric oxide production. So humming is really, really good for you. Maybe it's a frequency thing, but it's really, really good for you. You produce more nitric oxide. And then there's a community note.
Yeah, there's a community note at the bottom, so whatever.
Fuck that.
Humming for an hour? I wouldn't even want to cure my shit. You got to hum for an hour every day? That's a lot.
I like it. I think there's something to it.
All right.
Okay, next, a little bit of an awkward part of the show.
Okay.
A little bit of a solemn part. Not an apology, but Jimmy Carter died.
Yeah. Rest
It's
in
a
peace.
little awkward because I was really making fun of Jimmy Carter. I don't like Jimmy Carter. I never liked Jimmy Carter. And now he's dead, so it's a little awkward. And this has actually happened to me before.
When?
When I was like a kid, something similar happened. I'd rather not say.
What happened?
I think if I tell the story, people will think I'm a bad guy.
All right, now you have to tell it, though. That's the problem. You can't bring this shit up.
Okay, I'll tell a quick story. When I was in 7th grade, I was new to a school, and there was a teacher I didn't get along with, Mr. or Mrs. So-and-so. And he and I were constantly butting heads. I was getting detention. I really didn't like the guy, and he was kind of a jerk, to me at least. And then, as a kid, as a foolish child, I would say, like, oh, I hate Mr. or Mrs. So-and-so. I hope he dies.
Okay, so it was a he. Yeah.
And then there was like a school trip like a month later, and then he died on the school trip.
You cursed him.
And then we found out on the ride home. And then when I got off the bus, the teacher told me, thank you for being so strong, because I was the only one not crying.
That's crazy. He died on a school trip?
Yeah.
That's got to be traumatic for some of those kids.
For the kids that are with him, we were on a different school trip at a different location.
Whatever. Sometimes your enemies die. It's not your fault. You didn't curse
Exactly.
anybody.
We know what Jimmy Carter did.
That's normal. But yeah, this was the odds that Jimmy Carter would die in 2024, and it went from like 1% to 100.
It's a revived shitcoin graph.
Because it was going against time. Like there were only 4 days left in December, and then it just goes boom.
Yeah.
Crazy.
That's a good. I should have bet that.
That's good yield.
So rest in peace, Jimmy Carter.
Yeah.
You're forgiven. I don't know.
Sold the Panama Canal for nothing.
And then he was the first one to hear about aliens, and he didn't tell anybody.
Yeah, all right.
All right. Lil Baby is an immortal woman.
Yeah.
So this thing is saying that Lil Baby is Maya Angelou. And that's compelling. That's pretty compelling stuff.
Yeah.
They do look similar.
Okay, good job.
So maybe they are. And
Some
then,
black people look alike.
You said it, not me. And then I actually have a doppel of my own. Someone sent me this from Texas Roadhouse. And guys, I thought this was me.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it. I've never seen someone that looks so much like me. Even the hair, he's wearing a hoodie. So if that's you, let us know. We'll send you a shirt, maybe give you a body double job. And then you can even be an on-the-ground street reporter and just call yourself Fleckus, and I'll feed you the lines.
There you go. You can be two places at once.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to go fast with this next part. Remember a couple episodes ago, we did the top 20 words that could also be black names?
Yes.
One of them was nefarious.
And here is Orlando Nefarious Jahal Braxton.
Yep. So we called that. We predicted the future.
It was actually easy to call. It wasn't even hard.
And then from Christmas, I had a Christmas gift I gave to my friend Jordan. Life is not measured by the number of breaths we take, but by the moments that take our breath away, with a George Floyd picture.
There you go. You couldn't help yourself. You had to bring George Floyd into Christmas.
I did.
That sounds like you.
And that was a good Christmas gift. And then at Christmas dinner, there was a towel underneath my chair and a towel underneath a baby's chair.
That's more of a reflection on you, to be honest.
Yeah, of course it is.
You're a slop-eating pig.
But I think someone was doing a bit.
Yeah.
But,
okay.
And
And
then
then shit your pants like a baby, too.
We'll get to that later.
Okay.
That's in Cringe.
All right.
And then last but not least of this section, there was a New Year's Eve in France at the Arc de Triomphe, and everyone's filming it.
They fed it to their phone again.
They fed it to their phone. This feeds AI, and then AI gets strong.
Yeah.
Because we feed the beast stuff like this.
We do this every year now.
Yeah.
We do this basically the same thing where it's all phones every year. We have the two New Year's Eve bits. It's this, feeding the phone, and then the adults wearing diapers in Times Square.
Yeah.
We can't really keep coming back to it year after year.
But here we are.
Yeah.
And then our next story, this is actually a tip for anyone who's a homeowner or even a renter. If you have gutters outside your house, this is something you should do. It's a little long, but it's worth the tip.
Been raining all day and it's about to start raining soon again, so I'm going to need to get these ready for the rain to come in. You can do this at home too. Just add a little bit of Dawn soap to your downspouts here. You're going to want to do this before and after each rain. Make sure you get them all. I still have a lot more to do here, but adding this little bit of dawn to each one of these spouts will help keep you protected from the Federation. During each rainfall, they like to send down sensors through the rain, and the dawn will help neutralize them and keep them from sending signals out to the Federation. Federation's aerial activity has been at an all-time high, so please, stay safe, guys.
See?
The Federation. That's what they've been up to.
I was watching that, and I'm like, oh, this is a good tip. Maybe to like fight mold or something.
Does
in
this
the
clean it? Yeah. Is there leaf? Is there debris that gets stuck? And he's like, nah, the Federation.
And it's like such a late reveal of the tip where you do all the things first, and then at the end you go, to prevent the Federation sensors that come in the rain.
You know, speaking of this, this guy could be doing a bit, but I was at home for Christmas and my sister was telling me this story about like, oh, her boyfriend or her husband actually was like, oh, show this crazy guy on Facebook. Show him what he's posting. Show some examples. And then he was reading out like, oh, here's what he says. Oh, these people are after me and this. And I'm like, guys, this is just a schizophrenic. You're witnessing a guy experience schizophrenia and you're making fun of him.
I get a couple of those on my algorithm now.
Yeah.
Like 5 likes, and it's like, oh, there's that car again. He's following me.
Gang stalking, like somebody's after me. This is a mafia family. It's kind of sad, and I don't know.
Yep. And then
maybe commit them. If this guy really thinks the Federation, he kind of needs help.
But it's fun to follow pets like that.
Yeah.
All right. Next is actually maybe the most important story of the episode. I don't know if you guys saw this. Can you read the tweet?
Tweet from Rob Smith. It is known I live part-time in the very small Miami Beach. It should be more known that I carry and am active in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. If you approach me aggressively or attempt to physically attack me, be aware of these things before you do so. That's all.
Rob knows Jiu-Jitsu.
Rob carries a gun and knows Jiu-Jitsu and is threatening the Miami Beach hassle community, the heckler community.
Rob knows Jiu-Jitsu.
Rob knows Jiu-Jitsu. Rob knows Jiu-Jitsu.
Rob knows Jiu-Jitsu. Oh, man.
Good update.
Good update. Speaking of, well, Rob, kind of, Henchman Maxing 2 came out over break.
Yeah.
It was fantastic. Richard Rapoy and I are in it. We're going to show a trailer in a few seconds. Before we get there, Zendaya and Mark Jacobs is Henchman Maxing as well.
Yeah. It might be a henchman decade.
Yeah.
There's not a season. There's not a year. We've been henching for quite a while now.
We kind of called it.
And it's not going away.
And then someone had this truck and says you could fit 10, 15 henchmen in this bad boy easy.
That's a perfect henchman truck.
And then someone commented because we showed our full bodies on the henchmen.
Yeah.
So someone said, wait, Richard Rapoy's taller than you? To me. And I said, barely. And Rapoy goes, much.
Significantly taller.
6'3", 6'1", for the record.
And Fleckus is shrinking. I'm staying neutral. Fleckus is shrinking. Is that true or no?
Maybe.
You're condensed.
Well, maybe a little bit.
All right.
I'm getting weighed down.
Yeah.
But yeah, Henchman Maxing 2 did come out. It's on FleckisTalks.com right now. People are loving it. Check out the trailer right here.
Now let's go over the plan. It's a whole bunch of pop. Those are bunch of papas.
All right, cool. So that's the trailer for Henchman Maxing 2. Rapoy and I made it. It's fantastic. FleckisTalks.com is the website. Go watch. You also get hours and hours of bonus land, all kinds of schizo theories. Great bonus land coming today as well, and a whole backlog. So if you sign up now, you get hours, I think days at this point, of extra exclusive content. All right, that's the end of housekeeping. Let's get into Cringe of the Week. All right, we're into Cringe of the Week. You know, we might go a little long today.
Okay.
First episode back, maybe it's closer to an hour and a half than it is to an hour.
Yeah, maybe we go a little long and then I get to keep my job and someone from India doesn't come and take it.
Exactly.
It's nice. We're actually safe. India can't take my job. AI can't take my job. You know?
Yeah, we're locked in.
We're pretty good.
We can go forever.
Yeah.
All right, so we mentioned this in the intro, Soundgarden.
YouTube can actually fucking kill us.
Yeah,
that's what I was about to say. That's the only thing. YouTube can come in like an axe murderer and behead us. So
but
that's
besides that, we're untouchable.
Yep.
Soundgarden, you know the music Soundgarden?
Yeah.
What's
it's
the
grunge.
song? What's the song they sing?
I don't know. What was that one?
Black Sun Runs.
Black Hole Sun. I think that's Soundgarden. Maybe.
Black hole sun
Let me look
in
that
the
up.
run.
Yeah, that's Soundgarden.
Da-na-na.
That's probably their most popular.
That's their most popular. It's a band that was popular in the 90s and 2000s.
It's grunge.
Chris Cornell was the main guy. He died. He's dead now.
Committed suicide.
He committed suicide. And they replaced him with this, I don't know.
Shayna Shepherd, a powerhouse vocalist and Seattle community organizer, delivering a fresh and soulful take on the Soundgarden legacy.
Yeah. So she's
a fat black
They
lady.
replaced her with a fat black lady. And then she's wearing like biker shorts.
Not really Soundgarden vibes.
And a t-shirt. And then look what she does at one of the concerts. So she did a stage dive.
Secondhand embarrassment. That's like the most horrible misread of the room ever. And then watch when she does this. Look at the guitarist kind of look at the other guy. And goes, oh my God, what have I done?
Which is, I guess, what they used to do. They stage dives. But she did a stage dive as a 300-pounder into a crowd of 40 to 50-year-olds who probably have bad backs.
They've been grunge fans since the early 90s, and they're like, let's go relive our youth a little. We're not looking to catch a 250-pound new lead singer.
So they probably have bad backs and shitty health insurance, and they're 50 years old.
Yeah,
and then
they
you
work
dive
at a Seattle co-op or something.
And then, I'm not one to criticize people about their weight all the time.
For sure, you shouldn't be. You have no room to talk.
But there is obviously the fat acceptance movement.
Yeah.
That's like, you're not fat, you're great. In fact, fat is good.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like similar to that, where it's like, oh, don't let your weight stop you. You can do anything. It's okay, I want to crowd surf. And it's like, yeah,
jump in.
Go for it. And then that's what happens. That's what you have here.
And then also crowd surfing is something that happens like when the crowd is so crazy, caught up in the moment, and they love you. This crowd is like, this was the first show.
Yeah.
This was the first show, and they're like, okay, is this going to be good? Okay, I guess they're still the hit songs. The voice is a little different. But again, this is like, why would these guys do this? This is kind of the Make-A-Wish Society that we always complain about. Like, oh, she was caller number 103 on Kiss FM 103.5.
You're the lead singer of Soundgarden now.
Congratulations. Come on down to Seattle. But so...
You could have gone like visible doppel.
That's what I'm saying.
Or voice doppel to replace Chris Cornell.
You could find the ugliest fucking guy ever, and if he sounds exactly like Chris Cornell, bring him up.
Exactly. He could even use Chris Cornell's daughter, who is a singer.
So Soundgarden botched
But they went with the Netflix style and picked a fat black woman.
Yeah, they went Netflix. And then my favorite is the presentation of this singer as a community organizer in Seattle. She organized like a protest once or did some stupid shit with all the other fatties.
So Soundgarden, toast.
Cooked. And it's unfortunate because Soundgarden's a great band. And, well, yeah, they were. And they just could have done something actually satisfactory, and instead now they're getting pressed for all the wrong reasons, and it's just retarded.
Yeah, not one of ours anymore. Yeah. Next, let's go to the person who's on jury duty and dresses up into a special outfit.
So I've got jury duty today, so I figure, let's get into drag. And before you all get after me for doing something that's like illegal, I checked, and it is not illegal in the state of Oregon to get into drag for jury duty. And by checked, I mean I asked my friend who's a judge. And the thing about doing drag when you go to jury duty is that if you are late, it is not like any other gig. You might go to jail.
Hello, my fellow Americans. It's me, your favorite former Alaskan governor, vice presidential candidate, and Caribou Barbie Sarah Palin. You know, I'm just so excited to be going to jury duty today. And it's really important to reduce regulations and reduce the carbon emissions that are happening from our animals and from the windmills that
You can't turn it off for a couple hours.
Jury duty comes once every 5 years, maybe.
And you can't not dress up in drag queen attire like Sarah Palin. This is like probably the average New York Trump juror in the New York case coming up.
I know. This is who like people, and then they show up for the Trump trial in like regular clothes and nothing. This is random jury.
Yeah.
And he goes in the drag shit, but then when it's a Trump trial, they try to hide it. One day, you couldn't do one civic duty random day. You had to film it, go in Sarah Palin mocking drag, and be the center of attention at like this thing that nobody wants to go to. it's a heat check on what the gays are up to.
Yeah.
And it's not hot. It's not good.
Civic duty.
Yeah.
They like that.
Duty.
They like duty. You know where that goes.
Yeah.
All right. Next, speaking of duty, this guy who's a gay guy is making a public service announcement to other gay guys because some gay guys aren't doing what they need to do health-wise.
When it comes to those hemorrhoids, take a break. Let them heal. You got a freaking bouquet of balloons back there, honey. Let them heal.
So I guess that needed to be said because I'm assuming the gay guys aren't letting them heal and they're fucking through it, it's called.
It's called fucking through it, and this guy has seen it at least 3 times to make a video of it. You know, there's like a rule of thumb. Like you don't make it after 2 times. So you know, how do people get monkeypox? How does this happen? How does all the diseases? There's open wounds and disgusting shit going on, and they play through it. You say F through it, but they play through it, and it's real disgusting. An indictment of the community.
An indictment of the community,
Yeah.
it's called.
Yeah.
All right, our next clip is
That was borderline. That's as far as we go, I guess, on
Yeah.
the show. We have another one in bonus land coming up where we're going to clarify something in regards to poppers, the use of poppers, which we reference in Henchman Maxing 2, which we didn't quite understand.
Those are bosses' poppers.
We thought the poppers were for something else, and then it turns out it's a very different use. So disgusting.
Disgusting. And then our last clip of Cringe, these girls are doing like a video about what they think, I guess, being right wing is.
It's like Handmaid's Tale type.
Handmaid's Tale type lore.
Pumbus full sperm, put us in the barn. Us and pigs on a Mississippi farm. In 9 months we'll have a kid you won't care about. And if the kid's not straight, white, male, we guarantee a living hell. Murder in the name of a loving God. Our women are cattle, there's blood on our kids. Are you being paid to not pay attention? Does it have to happen to your mother, to your sister, or your daughter for you to take it personal?
Yeah, so these are the same people who are quiet about the rape gangs in the UK, the Pakistani rape gangs.
Yeah.
But they're pretending that something like that's happening here and it's all white guys doing it in Mississippi.
Yeah. And this is also, to me, they're accidentally revealing like that you're miserable. Like, oh, you can't be happy in America unless you're straight, white, and male. And it's like, so they're constantly like focused on politics or something, making themselves miserable, spinning their wheels in the mud.
Like there's not one happy white woman married to a white guy?
With a family off birth control, just fucking going. And then another thing with this, it's like the starting line of that video is like, pump us full of sperm and treat us like cattle. And it's like, is this fetish shit for you?
They like it.
Yeah, I bet you're probably thinking about, get me with your big, strong white hands
like,
and
what?
pinning me down.
Leave me in the
Jesus
barn like
Christ.
an animal. What?
I just said hello. I said good morning.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I think there's something. These kind of people who do this over-the-top art shit, they reveal more about themselves to a certain extent.
You thought that up?
Yeah.
This is a scenario you play over in your mind
Constantly think about this before I go to bed.
This is what's probably happening everywhere. Yeah, it could happen to me. Yeah. And then also, like you said, stop taking birth control. When you take birth control, you get cooked. And then when you get cooked, you get into a relationship you don't actually want. And then when you stop taking the birth control to have kids, you hate your partner.
You hate your partner, you're smelling fear.
Yeah.
There's new shit going on.
There's new shit. Well, that was a quick cringe, but only because we have a double urban. We're getting into our Urban Decay section right now. All right, our first clip of Urban Decay is some shoplifters were caught shoplifting and they got arrested, and they're surprised because there's a new law in California, which is, I guess, an old law that stealing is illegal, but everyone voted on really enforcing stealing being illegal.
Yeah, imagine saying stealing is now like a felony is a new law. It's like the oldest fucking don't steal. It's like a commandment. So we're just going to kind of speed through this montage, but it shows all these girls, and this is the exact type of group we've covered a bunch of times before.
They go through everything they steal, $648 of stolen stuff right there.
Mm-hmm. They walk in, they walk out, they never even go to the register.
They walk in, they walk out.
Next video, they ran up $951 worth.
And they just walk out.
Yeah, they're done.
And then they get arrested and dragged to the ground. And then here's them talking in the back of the cop car.
It's a felony? New laws. Stealing is a felony. And this is Orange County. Don't play. That's why I asked what county is this. That's where I went to jail last year and got on probation for a year for stealing out of Target.
Ah, so because I guess they're in Orange County where they actually enforce it, it's a felony now.
So they're learning, and the girl goes, it's a felony, and the one girl knew and was still doing it. So like that tells you the degrees, right? Like there's the opportunistic criminal, there's the I'm gonna do crime either way, whether it's a felony or a misdemeanor. That's the girl who knew the laws. And I don't know, is nature healing? Hey, if it takes Gavin Newsom plotting a 2028 presidential run to save the state of California, it's fucked up. But I still like seeing these types get brought to jail.
I still like seeing these types get brought to jail too. And I might push for some like a reparations the other way.
They ran up $3,000 pretty quick, or $2,500.
And who knows how many times they did it before they got caught?
Yeah,
probably a bunch of times. So there's reparations owed to normal Americans for all the looting and stealing and destruction over the last 20 years.
I agree.
15 years. And then the next clip, we actually have a compilation here of all the cops letting the thieves know. We do it a little different here in Orange County.
Are we getting it's just a petty theft? Stand up.
Orange County is different. When you go to Orange County, you go to county jail. That's how it works in Orange County and Seal Beach.
You go to county jail?
Yeah. Orange County prosecutes for theft.
So why wouldn't it just be listen to me.
Because this is Orange County, this is LA County. We don't cite and release.
Are we gonna go to county? Or you go to county. Get a ticket. You go to county. They'll release you from there.
Welcome to Orange County.
Right door.
You're not in LA County, you're Orange County. You guys decided to do the crime in Orange County.
Have you heard me?
Wrong county to be in. Is there any way you can just cite and release me?
We don't do that in Orange County.
You see how they know the phrase too?
That's what I was gonna say. This girl probably has one of the lowest vocabularies, least educated people you've ever seen, and she knows the phrase cite and release.
It's not just a ticket. You actually gonna cite and release me?
So
no.
Very uplifting. And it's funny because the type of people who are stealing within these rules, like the under 950 or the various things, it's like you have to remember the county lines too. So they're having to keep track. They probably have folders, and it's like, oh, I can hit this target. Then that's just over the county line. But yeah, knowing cite and release is a major red flag for someone who probably doesn't know a lot of other phrases.
Yep, you're going to go to jail, and they'll release you there.
Yeah.
And then next, we're getting into our New York City subway system crime section. We have a few stuff.
California, getting better, a little bit, at least. And it should go statewide into effect shortly. And New York is unfortunately not yet.
Getting a little worse.
They haven't bottomed out.
And our first clip is a guy getting pushed on the subway tracks. We're going to pause it right before he goes under the train because it is kind of, what's it called?
Graphic.
But he's here in the subway. He's standing there and everything seems fine. And at the very last second, as the train's coming in, this guy who you should have your head on a swivel for, and you should racially profile.
Yeah, you definitely should be racially profiling. You should be looking, you should be profiling, and he was doing neither, and it cost him severe injuries, right?
He didn't die, believe it or not.
Yeah.
He somehow survived, probably went underneath the train, and then now this is how everyone's standing on the subways in New York, back against the wall, because they're all scared.
The smelling fear video that Flecka showed? These guys saw the video, they started sweating and smelling different, and now, and these are the same type of people who hang out in New York and are leftists who kind of make fun of conservatives, like, what, are you afraid of Chicago? You afraid of Inglewood?
You afraid to go on the subway?
Yeah. And then this is how it works. This is how, the same thing about those terrorist attacks like New Orleans and stuff, or school shootings, those kind of fucked up attacks that kind of inspire copycats. There is a very real, like, oh, I saw this, I didn't think about it, I'm going to do that now. So I agree. I'd be back against the wall too. That's the slit throat patrol, as we call it.
Yeah, slit throat patrol. Ratboy and I lived in New York City in like 2011, the summer.
Yeah.
And whenever we rode the subway, we'd have STP calls. So if you were standing there and you saw that black guy walking behind you, you go STP, STP. It means slit throat patrol because someone could come up behind you and just slit your throat. And then we had like a system 1 through 5. And then whenever your guard's fully down, you actually have to raise the level to a higher level.
Yeah, there's no such thing as level 1 because then your guard's too low. So if you ever feel like you're at level 1, then you instantly raise it to level 3.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that, we don't get pushed on the tracks because I'm assuming a lot of people want to push me on the tracks, and I'm looking for people that are going to push me.
Exactly.
We have some other people here. This guy got stabbed, man stabbed in NYC subway station as congestion pricing kicks in, forcing more commuters into the dangerous system.
Yeah, and there were several stabbings, including an illegals who stabbed.
Illegals as well.
Last night, 2 people were stabbed, 1 dead, and a 3rd person assaulted on a southbound 7 train in Queens. Police arrested 3 suspects, all illegal aliens.
Yep. And then they're forcing people into the subways with congestion pricing. There's a new fee now. If you're a car or a truck or a cab, you have to pay to use the streets.
Like the tunnels, the bridges, some of the things that, if a certain time of day to reduce congestion, right?
So regular citizens pay $9, taxi cabs pay 75 cents, motorcycle $4.50, users will pay $1.50, trucks $20. Ubers, and then trucks pay $21.
Yeah.
Small trucks pay $14. So you're basically, they made the subways so bad and so dangerous, full of repeat offenders. And then if you don't want to ride the subway because it's all trash and criminals, now they're going to force you in there. It's kind of like Bane and Batman.
Yeah. We force them into the tunnels, and then we blow it.
Yeah. It's like they're forcing you into like the Mad Max subway system kill box.
Yeah, without improving it or doing anything at all, right? More people are getting fucked up than ever. And
Real Batman shit.
And it's all like, we're not going to cover it because it happened towards the beginning of the break almost 2 weeks ago, the woman who got lit on fire by the Guatemalan migrant.
Yeah.
We'll mention it. But it's like you start to see all these things and they're like strangers committing these crimes, slashing someone. Someone got knifed for asking someone to turn their music down. They were playing it out loud.
Probably guess who's...
I'm closing my eyes and picturing who would do such a thing.
Who plays music on speakerphone on the subway?
Yeah.
And so, yeah.
John Smith? Is it John Smith?
Is it nefarious?
Yeah.
So now we have all these issues, all these criminals on the subway, and then if you are a working class person, now you're basically being forced into the kill box.
Yeah.
And then there's a congestion pricing pussy who goes, your tolls pay for cleaner air, better transit, safer streets, and a livable NYC.
Thanks.
What are you fucking talking about?
How about I bounce your head off the ground like a basketball?
Go on the subway and watch what happens. Like that guy is...
Someone will take his purse.
Yeah.
And so here's the thing too, like these congestion pricing, this was heavily funded. The proposal to do it was heavily funded by Uber and Lyft because it gives them an advantage. They pay less than an average commuter because they can still be out there. And so their rides are basically subsidized compared to the cost of you driving in. So it's a fascinating corporate dynamic. And I don't think it stops in New York. You think a cash-strapped city like Chicago isn't going to be like, oh, hey, whoa, congestion pricing. We're about to fuck all of our productive members of society because we didn't build enough lanes or something, right?
And then New York is paying $5 billion for illegals, and they don't have the money.
Got to make it up somehow.
You got to make it up somehow. Who do you charge? Not the illegals. You charge the regular people.
Yeah, you charge the productive members of society who are actually trying to get somewhere at an appropriate time of day. You know, nobody cares about the drunk driver at 3 a.m. crossing the bridge.
Mm-hmm.
But like, you know, it's just not a good trend. And then it's like government policy dictating behavior. And, you know, God knows what do businesses think, you know? Oh, I'm a business and I'm open and now I'm getting way less traffic because of these artificial taxes that were brought in for no reason. You know?
Mm-hmm.
You think foot traffic's going up?
Yeah,
in
exactly.
Manhattan?
Exactly.
I don't know.
And then the Guardian Angels, Curtis Lewa, who was big in, I think, the 80s when crime was really bad in New York, they're active again. Here's him in the background just talking, giving a press conference. But I saw a lady Guardian Angel in the background, so they may have gotten woke too.
Yeah, she'll get beaten up.
I know. But I'm happy everyone's helping, but also, I don't know.
I thought it was men.
I thought it was a men thing.
Yeah. Curtis Lewa, a real Pollock.
Yeah, you like that.
Yeah.
Okay, we're in our second page of Urban Decay. We still have a lot left. We're gonna go.
So I don't know. Expect incidents to rise. It's not getting better on the subway.
You know how we have a migrant section, then we had a COVID section, we had a Ukraine section. We're gonna have a New York City subway crime section because everyone's gonna be on it now that they have to, and it's not gonna be pretty.
In a city where there are people who are 87x reoffenders, 87-time offenders. I don't think that anyone's getting comfy on the subway.
Yeah,
right?
the knife guy was arrested 87 times, and a lot of them were like in recent years for stabbing people.
Yeah.
Who could have seen?
You stab one person, you're gone.
Yeah, who
You
could have
should be
seen that coming?
Bounced from society. Remember when we used to hang horse thieves?
Mm-hmm.
Then now California had to restart that law. Oh, crazy.
All right, next we have some bad delivery guys. Our first one, let that play. I'm not going to explain it too much.
We can't answer the door right now, but if you'd like to leave a message, you can do it now.
Hi, I have diarrhea. Please let me use your bathroom, please, please, please. I can't. I'm going to shit myself. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm going to shit myself. You are scaring my kids. I'm sorry. Please get out. I'm going. No, I'm going to. Please get out of my house. I'm going. Please get out of my house. I'm going to. Please. I'm begging you. Get out of my house. I can't stop. Please get. You're scaring my children. Get out of my house.
So that's why most guys carry an extra pair of underwear in the car.
What? Yeah. That's where you're going with this? I was like, nobody can shit in my house either way.
Yeah, no one's coming in. There's kids. Who trusts that guy? Nobody. Especially when there's a million migrants and repeat offenders.
Yeah.
The days of like humanity and like trusting people are way gone.
Yeah. Hey, come blow out my house. You're handling my food as well?
You're shitting right now?
Oh, come on in. Get in here. My daughter, here, I'll get her out of the way. Yeah. People are crazy. Shit your pants like a man and then drive home and go throw out your underwear.
Yeah, throw out your underwear. How many pairs of underwear you throw out a year, you think?
None.
Zero? Of course not. What are you, a baby?
How many are you?
None.
None?
You're a baby. You're not a baby.
You sure?
Yeah, no one does that.
Sounds like you blow out a lot.
Nah.
I've thrown out some ripped underwear. They rip. They blow out. But you, I think you blow out in a different way.
You shouldn't say that.
All right.
All right. Next, there was a Uber driver who participated in a home invasion. They tipped people off.
Osceola deputies have arrested 22-year-old Brianna Alvelo and booked her into the county jail. They say she and a man broke into the Riviera Motel in Kissimmee this past Sunday and attacked a person in one of the rooms, all because Alvelo didn't get a big enough pizza delivery tip. Detectives from the Violent Crimes Unit say the victim ordered pizza from a local restaurant earlier that evening, and Alvelo got upset over the size of the tip. They say Alvelo later went back to the victim's motel room with a man, and the pair forced their way into the room. Investigators say the man had a gun and Alvelo had a knife, and she started stabbing the victim. The pair allegedly stole things from the room before leaving.
Wow.
This is like a 22-year-old girl, 22, 23, committed multiple felonies and actually stabbed a person over $5 to $10. So we're living in a world where the falafel guy, the street meat falafel guy is fucking snapping a pigeon's neck and doing who knows what. This guy's begging to shit in your house, blow it out, destroy it. And he just brought your like Long John Silvers or whatever. And then the pizza people are coming. So we're kind of at this point where you want to limit how many random zero qualifications people are handling your food and touching your stuff, right? Because the only guy who has anything to risk is the actual falafel cart guy. He had to plan some stuff. He had to get a permit or something. He had to afford the cart. Who knows, right? But these Uber Eats, these types of people, sending them to your house so often, I don't know. And the more you do it, the more likely you are to encounter one that's going to fuck you up somehow.
Because it is like a lower level job. So whoever's doing it's like illegal or doesn't have other means of income.
They don't get turned down. There's not an interview and a handshake and a look you in the eye. It's what kind of vehicle do you have? When do you start?
And we've also covered how the illegals who can't do it and can't qualify pay the Uber Eats people to like rent their app to be deliverers.
Yeah, you're Michael now. Congratulations, Miguel. You're Michael Johnson now.
And then you have that, and then like these people are also involved in other scams and illegal activity, and then it kind of overlaps. Where it's like, oh yeah, I saw that they had a computer right by the door, and it was they're in a back room, and I can maybe get in there at night, or I'll come back later, or the door was unlocked, or whatever.
Yeah.
You can kind of give people an excuse to do crimes on you, which is why I have a Rottweiler.
Yeah, Rottweiler and guns, it's a little different. I mean, but even then, like, you don't want to have to use it. You don't want to have to fight someone. Even that means you lost, you know,
It's already too late.
to a certain extent. You want to go to the next story
And
here?
this happened in the UK. Their version of Uber Eats is Deliveroo, which is an app.
Yeah.
But can you read the headline?
I was sexually assaulted by a Deliveroo rider using a fake name. The app had no details for monster who attacked me in my home. And when we saw this headline, we thought it was going to be one of those it still might be one of those migrants who was like using someone else's app. But basically the gist, long and short, is a guy got creepy, delivered something to a single girl's room, asked if he could hug her after he barged in. And
sounds like a migrant.
It sounds migrant. It sounds Pakistani.
Sounds a little Pakistani.
Sounds brown. Doesn't sound like a 10th generation Englishman.
And then here's where it really gives it away. They weren't allowed to describe the person because that could lead to false accusations. So you don't even have a description. Oh, he's 5'7", 120 pounds, Pakistani. They're not allowed to say that because that could lead to, you know, people getting labeled as something they're not. And then you actually don't protect the victim. You're protecting the criminal.
You go through the entire article, which is all about this unsolved, unknown sexual assault in someone's home.
He's at large.
And they don't describe the guy.
Because we don't want any unwanted accusations on our Pakistani community or whatever.
And it's like the same, it's like Ann Coulter's law. Like the longer they don't describe him or don't provide a description, you know exactly kind of who it is, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then this is one of the more fucked up parts from the story, just to round out this bad Uber Eats driver section. This girl had a live chat with the app, like saying like, oh, hey, what's up? What's going on? Who was this? Can I get more information? And the live chat is like, I apologize for what happened. Can you kindly confirm what restaurant you ordered from? And then she kind of like didn't reply for 10 minutes. She put her phone in her pocket. And then the app goes, as we've not heard from you for a few minutes now, I'm going to end the chat. If you need help with anything else, please use the order help feature on our website or app. Thanks for getting in touch. And this is after she's like talking about being sexually assaulted by the driver. Someone's just looking to get out of it and provide the minimum human interaction possible.
Yep.
So that's it.
That's another one.
It's not the time to be maximizing your interaction level with the lowest possible, like incompetent job people. You know what I mean? Like, and some people are great. And this gives a bad name to people who are doing this, like in a pinch or as an extra hustle, if they want to afford a new car, you know, like the people who pick it up for extra work. But you hear these horrible stories and it makes it less and less worth it, right?
Very sad.
Yeah.
All right, next we're going to end the section. We're going to go fast through this, but this is the ungrateful PS5 section.
I'd rather do this section and cut some uplifting gold than do this.
Yeah,
So,
we'll do it. We're putting everything in.
Cool. All right, here's some Christmas gift shit. And this is real? This is real?
I think this is real.
I wanted a Samsung, bro.
Hey! The heck?
Oh my! Why y'all always doing this, bro? Every year y'all do this. I don't want no Hisense, bro. I'd say I wanted a Samsung. This not. I can't play this.
So it's a PS5 box, and then
Bro,
it's a
hey,
PS2.
Come here! Hey! Bro, get up, bro! Go outside! Fuck is wrong with you?
So they were not happy. And that one, the dad pranked him with the PS5 box and put like a lesser PS in there.
Yeah.
And they
But
smashed it.
I assume he was going to still give them the PS5 because you don't just get a box from nothing, right?
But then they kind of ruined it.
Yeah, you kind of ruined the gift.
By smashing it and not being grateful. And then the next one is an adult who has a bad reaction.
I don't care, bro. I don't care, bro.
I couldn't afford a PS5. Okay, stop for real. I couldn't
You're
afford
watching
no PS5.
Rap House TV.
I'm talking to you. You doing all this because I didn't get you a game?
Yes. You told me you was gonna give me a PS5, bro. You never told me that, bro.
Bro, you are damn near 30 years old. You talking about somebody that buy you a PS5.
Your word is your bond. Start keeping your word, but you can't give me a PS5 because why? You spent all this money on your son.
When did you get my
Your
son? When did you get my son?
I didn't get your son nothing. That's not my son.
You're watching Rap House
So
TV.
you're not my son at the end of the day, so why should I be buying you a
Don't spend nothing on your
PS5?
son if you're not gonna get my PS5 like you told me last year.
Alright, you know what? Don't even worry about it, G, because I ain't gonna lie. All this little shit you doing is petty.
I know, right? Now I'm petty. Now I'm petty because I'm breaking the toys.
And the whole world finna see how you
Now I'm
act.
petty because I'm breaking
Your
the
ass
toys.
almost 30 years old.
Now I'm petty because I'm breaking the toys, bro.
We started repeating.
Starts repeating.
Now
you
I'm
know.
petty because I'm breaking your toys. Now I'm petty because I'm breaking your toys. Rap House TV, audio watermark. You should die. I'm sorry. If that's what you're doing to viral videos, you should go to hell at least. Yeah, almost 30 years old, didn't get any gifts for the kid. It's like Christmas is not like, Christmas is for the kids. Adults age out. We know that. If you're an adult, you can buy yourself something.
And if you can't buy yourself something, don't play PS5.
If you can't afford your own PS5, that means you shouldn't be playing PS5. It's a full self-fulfilling cycle.
You need to Uber Eats and sexually assault people on Uber Eats app.
Wow. That's the same penalty as Rap House TV audio watermark.
All right, our last one, Jack Doherty and Lil Pump.
I guess. It's not important.
Doesn't matter. But they did something nice where they're giving gifts out in the urban areas, and listen to how these people reacted.
All right, I know you say you wanted a PS5. There you go. There you guys go. We got to keep it one per, like.
Yeah.
Just because
No,
there's so many other people.
Because, like, there's more people over there.
He went with them.
Bro, let's go over there.
People are, it's crazy.
Yeah, come on, guys. Like,
There's 1,000 people out here. I came with my daughter. I came with my daughter.
Okay, bet.
yo, are you serious? That's very greedy. That's super greedy. That's super greedy. Super greedy. No, that's it. That's super greedy. That's it. No. You know, I was rich. No. Listen. I was very poor when I was a kid, and if somebody handed me a basketball, I would have been so happy. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You should be happy that we're giving away gifts. That's very rude.
That's very rude.
Nah, you're rude.
No, you're rude.
You're rude. Go to the gym.
Yo, we just gave him a PS5, bro.
So the PS5,
You still get a free PS5, and then you end up yelling at someone leaving. You're rude.
because you need more people in your family to get more stuff for free.
PS5 is driving a wedge in a lot of people's relationships. This is crazy. The PS5 is what, $450?
Yeah, $400.
$450, $500 after
It's not
tax?
even that crazy.
It's, some people who are pinching pennies behind on their bills, like, it's a luxury, right? But you don't yell and snap at people and get two when you're fucking, how much you shove it in your mouth?
That's a good point.
How much is that pig shoving in her mouth?
That's a good point. Not happy. Christmas. Not grateful. Not good. Well, don't get too down or too depressed by all this. We're moving on to Uplifting Gold, and we have really uplifting stuff. Our first clip from Uplifting Gold
is actually PS5 related as well.
Is PS5 related as well.
This is the other side of the coin. Do we give them some context? This kid was playing trumpet and kind of doing, what do they call it, busking? Where you're looking for money?
Yeah, he's a talented panhandler where he's like playing trumpet for money to get a PS5.
My husband always taking care of the folks' kids that's in need when it comes to a good cause.
So he's playing the trumpet.
This is some New Orleans shit.
Yeah, he's in the middle ground.
Merry Christmas.
Bro, you can go home and enjoy your day, bro.
You
Just
go
what you
home,
wanted,
sweetheart.
right?
Merry Christmas.
Yeah,
Yes,
you
we're
can go home
serious.
and enjoy your day, bro.
Merry Christmas, sweetheart.
And
Yes.
you keep the 100 too. Go home and enjoy your day. I brought you another controller so your brother can have one.
Thank you so much. I'm probably sweaty. Thank you.
Isn't that nice?
The smelling fear thing that we were talking about? There's a parallel here. People can smell someone who's desperate and greedy and a little rat, and then they can also smell someone who's working hard and like kind of deserves it and deserves to get like a shortcut from an actual guy in the neighborhood who wants to hook you up. He's showing he's going out to work, There's different breeds. Fat Mexican mom with 2 kids, greedy. Get out of here.
More PS5.
Take away the first PS5. This kid who's grinding hard and like cold and playing the trumpet, PS5.
This happened to us recently. There's a kid, a young black man, a young black boy. He's probably like 12.
Okay.
He came by the house. He was knocking on the door. I may have told the story in Bonus Land, but
oh yeah, now I remember.
He was selling hats, and he was wearing a polo and khaki shorts, and he was selling hats to save up money to buy golf clubs. And sometimes you hear like, oh, we're selling candy for the basketball team, and it's kind of bullshit, whatever.
Of course, yeah. Outside of Publix, they got the same little candy box you've seen every time.
Yeah. So he was selling hats to raise money to buy golf clubs. And then I asked him a couple questions. I'm like, oh, where do you play? And he named a couple courses. One of them we've played, Twin Brooks.
Yeah.
And then he was saying he's like trying to join a league, and he showed me his grip, and he knew what he was talking about. He did like a practice swing. So then I just gave him an old pair of clubs that were actually really good.
Yeah, a complete set, right?
A complete set of tailor-made burner clubs, which are great for like if you're just starting. Like those will get you as far as you want to go.
Yeah.
And I just gave it to him because I did the same thing. I smelled the authenticity. He was a nice kid. He was well raised. He was well spoken. His mom was there. Grinding, selling something, not just asking for money, but selling a hat. I don't need a hat, but here's some golf clubs. So it's good to help those types when you sniff it out.
For sure.
Then there's another kid who comes around and he cleans my windows.
He's taking money from me. He's taking money out
and
of
he
your
just
pocket.
takes my money because he goes, "Oh, I'm here to clean your windows," but he cleans.
He does a shitty job.
He leaves streak marks, and then he can't reach the windshield. So he cleans the windows of my car, and he does like half of them, and he leaves streak marks with paper towels,
Then
and
it
he makes
rains
it
the
worse.
next day.
And then it rains, and he leaves my car worse. And then he knocks on the door, and I have to like hide in my own house because I don't want to have to face him.
Yeah.
So it goes both ways.
Yeah.
And then that kid, he's in school, and I'm like, "How you doing in school?" And he goes, "Oh, okay. I had a test today, or I had a test last week on World War II." I said, "How'd you do?" He said, "I got a 73."
That's not high performing.
I'm gonna give you money to what? Buy a dime bag when you're in 8th
smoke
grade?
weed with your 8th grade friends? Not for me.
So I kind of stopped with that kid.
Yeah.
Okay, next is a guy who's at the store, and an urban individual approaches him.
Hey, tighten up, little nigga. It look like you got a switch on you.
Oh, no, sir. I trust God. I got the Bible on me.
I feel you, but we glistening.
Uh-oh.
But I love you, though.
Hey, Jesus.
But if you did have a switch, I would have took it off you.
Uh-oh.
I take switches.
Uh-oh, man. Hey, can I pray with you?
Yeah, let's pray, bro.
Oh, man, that's what's up. Dear Heavenly, what's your name, Cat?
OKC Pranks.
OKC Pranks.
And then
they
he
go
ends
on to pray. He prays over
and he goes to pray over him after.
He's the orchid man.
But it's like, "Oh, if you had a gun on you, I'd take it." And he goes, "Uh-oh."
That's kind of the energy you have to have with those pranksters.
To
and shit.
de-escalate.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Whoopsie.
Okay, our next clip is
We'll skip this one.
It's a guy who got bit by a snake.
Go, guys! We just got a Diamondback. Let's go! Oh, my leg. Well, I'm cooked. What a meme, dude! GG. I was just peeling the bark and just got bit in the leg by a Diamondback. So, in the leg. Ow. Let's get some pictures of it first. I mean, we're already screwed anyways.
He ended up going to the hospital. I guess he lived, but his leg was really fucked up. It's the most venomous snake in North America, I believe, or in America.
Yeah, he did tons of anti-venom, and like he ended up being fine, but like the initial reaction to film content, be like, "Bro, I'm a meme. This is crazy."
Good game, GG, good game. And it's like, you're going to die from
Get in the car now. GG.
All right, we got to go fast. We're running out of time. This is a gender reveal. This is uplifting.
Oh, baby.
It's a boy.
Yep.
Very nice.
All right.
Next is this.
What are you trying to show us?
Ready?
Yeah.
Ready?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Earthquake.
Wow.
Fuck. I would have bought drapes first. And taken those stupid fucking towels down, then put stars on the fucking ceiling.
You're fucking prioritizing, right? That's all I
Disappointed boomer parents.
Is that his dad?
That's his dad. He's what about drapes first? You have a towel hanging up. All right, next is the New Year's Eve countdown in a different way. This is the smoking deaths countdown.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Isn't that nice?
440,000?
Die a year from smoking.
That's not even that much.
I'm fine with smoking.
I'm kind of back in on smoking. Well, we're not recommending. They really fearmongered that. When I was a kid, I thought you really died.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I know a lot of people who smoke and they're fucking 80.
It's fun.
It's fucking, it's American.
Yeah, it's
You know?
American. You ever watch a movie from back then? Everyone's ripping cigs.
They're ripping them.
And it's fun. Okay, we have some shout outs. Happy birthday to Tyler Sweeney's boyfriend who turned 36 on December 28th.
Tyler Sweeney's boyfriend. Tyler Sweeney's?
Yeah, but Tyler's a girl.
Yeah, interesting. Good job. You made the fatal error of not mentioning the name in the shout-out request, and therefore you took some... But that's good initiative, right?
It's good initiative.
So happy birthday to your boyfriend.
Happy birthday to Sophie's boyfriend, John Turner, who turned 30 on January 2nd. He's a big bonus lander. He watches every single episode.
John Turner, happy birthday.
John Turner, that's a good one. Happy 20th wedding anniversary to Timothy and Brandy Hurst.
Okay.
Wedding anniversary, 20 years.
That's a nice landmark one.
Happy for you guys. They have 20 acres in Arkansas, and they're living a nice life.
Jeez.
And then Timothy is always on Twitter tickling the post. He does the feather and the juice. He tickles and juices the post.
Good job.
Every single day. So we're very grateful. And then we have a gaming shout out here. Someone shouted us out while gaming.
I think what she does, she will stream it, I think. Ain't that right, Mama Sweet?
Yeah, the only podcast we really watch is Fleckish Talk.
Yep.
The greatest podcast of all time.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to clip that for them.
Yep.
I'm going to clip that for them. Thank you. We love it. That was amazing. And then our
tagline slightly wrong, but
yeah, you
no
got
big
it.
Deal.
Best new podcast of all time.
Yeah.
Best podcast ever. It is.
Yeah.
And then next I'm playing the video in the background here of us meeting, but you guys know Rob, androgynous Rob, the opposite of androgynous.
Okay.
He is a huge show watcher. He's watched us 1 million times. He's shouted us out 1 million times. He had the birthday party a few weeks ago where he had the Fleckus balloons and he got the Fleckus pillow.
Yeah.
And he got that for his birthday. I surprise met him in real life in Florida. They were here in Florida. His family was here for a trip, and I arranged a secret meeting. They went to a restaurant. I came up behind and surprised him, met him in real life, hung out for like 4 hours at the restaurant just talking to him. I gave him a black wheelchair Santa. That's what I give people as a gift.
Until they run out.
And I completely surprised him, and it was so fun. He's a great guy.
Look at him. He's scared here on the handshake pic.
Well,
shocked him.
That's the surprise part. But he's a great guy. He has strong hands, working man hands. You know, he's a real guy. He has a lovely wife, lovely daughters, lovely family. It was great meeting him and hanging out in real life. I look up to him in a nice way.
That's nice.
He has a great family, and there's a lot of respect for each other, and they have a great dynamic, and they're all laughing and having fun. No one hates each other.
And you know, Fleckus is the type of guy who he'll turn down things with his real, genuine friends. He'll say, no, I'm not doing that. That sounds like too much work. Hey, we're getting a big group together. We're going to go do this. No, not me. And then he'll say yes to the random fan meet 4-hour hangout. Once a quarter, maybe. He'll do that. So
that's
good for
so
you.
true. And it was
Rob got it.
Rob got it. We went to Cassis, my favorite restaurant, and it was amazing. And I really like him, and I really like talking to him and his family. And I'm really grateful to have done that.
Good job.
All right.
Did they ask about me at all?
A little bit.
He likes you.
Yeah, they called you a pussy. All right, another episode in the books. Thank you guys for watching. Like, share, subscribe, all the good stuff. LikeUsTalks.com for Bonus Land and Henchman Maxing 2.
Yep.
You guys need to go watch Henchman Maxing 2. It's like a masterpiece.
Chill.
Don't
oversell it. Now, you know.
It is a masterpiece. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you in Bonus Land, then we'll see you Friday.
Federation's aerial activity has been an all-time high, so please, stay safe, guys.